fixing that right now. So yeah, this is an interactive session. It is a late interactive session, but not so much late as in a late night show. I'm not that funny, but as in late as in I am. I apologize for being late. So yeah, do feel free to jump in if and when you want to. But this is a tutoring session on visualizations and statistics and how we can weaponize statistics to make numbers and situations say whatever we want in any type of context. Now, this is a very good thing and a bad thing, and the problem is that the situations in which these things are used are often polarizing situations. I'll take it as an example. For example, the 2020 elections, or COVID numbers, or people covering various protests, people covering various societal problems, for example, in the Middle East, where they use numbers to build graphs which are, let's be honest, not good graphs. So I wanted to give you a few examples. So this is a bad example, but moving on. Where graphs can be used to like do whatever. For example, Samsung here showing us a graph of various SSDs. And so you have your baseline, which this would be times 1, I assume, or this would be times 1. And somehow you have your times 2 and your times 12.7, which are just like in the vicinity of each other. This is a bullshit graph. For example. What else? Now I'm going to do it the opposite way. I've shown you one bullshit graph. Now I'm going to ask you to tell me why a graph is bullshit. For example, there we go. Why is this a bad graph? Feel free to write it in tutoring no mic. Feel free to, just anything. But why is this a bad graph? Anyone want to venture a guess?
What are the metrics on the left? Like, they're not represented from what I can see, like in any measurable way.
Yep. Okay. Gains aren't labeled, and what? Yeah, that's the same thing you were both bringing. Okay. What else? Any ideas? No one else? Okay. So beyond the mislabeling, you have so 2 colors which represent exactly this, well, same thing. Literally, you have 2 bars. They have a legend which says things. This is actually a number of schools with mandatory Saturday classes. So this would be 4.5 schools. First of all, how do you have 4.5 schools? And then you have 7 schools that do it without mandatory classes. Okay, where do gains in learning come in? There is nothing to do with gains. It's just numbers of schools, and even then, half a number. That's one of those examples. I'll find another one. Let's see. Oh, let's go with another contentious topic. Haha, cryptocurrency. Why is this graph bad? Specifically. Any ideas? Okay, so I guess I'll just, Big Krusty is typing. Currency isn't equivalent in value. By this, I assume you mean that it's not scaled to the same scale? Yeah. Okay. Yep. That is correct. If you see here, for example, for Floki, the green equivalency line is somewhere at two, was it thousandths of a dollar? This is 0.71 of a dollar. An equivalency line would be at $0.23. And this one is at was it a thousandth of a dollar? And this is them saying, hey, there's a lot of gains, when actually, well, the more stable one would be, the one with the most fluctuation would be this in terms of numerical values. This graph is also somewhat bad. Do you want to know why? Another one. The x-axis label isn't the same. This one is going from the 28th of November, well, 28th of sometime, I assume. That's the 28th of November until December. This one is going from the 14th of, that's going to be April, until the 8th of May. This one is going from the 4th to the 27th of, we don't know. This is, bad. And because I'm assuming this graph is showing the initial trends for cryptocurrencies, and saying that, oh yeah, Doge just jumped up. But yeah, nothing is to scale. That's another misuse of visualizations. Now, let's go with one last, and oh yeah, let's poke some fun at Google, because who doesn't want to poke fun at Google? Why is this graph bad?
It's a weirdly shaped pie chart.
Okay, yes, that is, yes, correct. What else?
Also, doesn't show how long it's been.
Yep, okay, indeed. Okay, I'll throw in a pie, or I guess a bit more. Okay, so the graph does go to 100%. That's already a good thing. I'm pretty certain that if you were to trace the amounts, it would correspond to 57% or something. So far so good. It's a fill. But for example, here they're mixing Nest and Google Play. Nest being their smart home services, and Google Play, which is their services like application platform, sales platform. They're mixing Google AdSense with Google AdMob, which are two separate services, which do two different things. And then they put $104 billion on ads on Google-owned properties, which, to be fair, YouTube is a Google-owned property, so it's a bit of a misleading axis. So that's one of the aspects, and yeah, the weird shape is also one of them. Now you of course have some very nice visualizations as well, like these types of things. This is I don't know if you do Pokemon or if y'all know much about Pokemon, but if you do, this is a very nice visualization of type correspondences. Very nice, very informative. Everything is nice. Good stuff. So you have the potential to do very nice graphs and very bad graphs, but this is actually not the basic of this, or the basis of this tutoring session. This session is based on weaponizing statistics. These graphs are just the weaponized version of statistics. So that's my segue into today's topic, is how are statistics weaponized, and what domains are the most frequently affected. So the domains that would be most frequently affected are public health and politics currently. Most things that have to do with tech are bad, but don't affect as many people. And others are consumer oriented, but let's be honest, It's really aimed at tricking CEOs into spending a lot of money, or tricking venture capitalists into spending a lot of money. And honestly, who cares what venture capitalists lose in money? Uh, they, I'd rather they feed me. Good. Yeah, this just as a small last example, because sports is also one, especially when you come to sports betting. The World Cup's big guns. Oof, that was a tongue twister. Percent of teams runs scored by top scorer. I'm pretty certain that if I just plonk this amount, this already gets me to the number 100. So you know. Also, yeah, it's. I'm pretty certain that if I took the 21.06 here and just took it to this, they would probably match up, but it's still not a percentage. So, I kind of wanted to go on the topic of politics, because that's the thing I did last time, and that's the thing that was fun. Now, the fun thing about politics is that in Europe, data isn't public, but in the US, ooh, hello. So let's go into US voter registration spreadsheet thingamajig. Let's see if we can find like an Excel sheet or something interesting. Voter registration list, voter registration data. Haha, who doesn't like data? All this data is public, which is horrible. But let's see how we can weaponize it. Let us take a county, statewide voter registration. So this is North Carolina. North Carolina, if you didn't know, during the 2020 elections, wasn't a flip state, or a state that was considered to be flippable, but it was a state where questions were asked because a lot of the early voters were, let's say, leaning blue, and then it caught back up on the red side. So let's see also how voting districts work in the US. If we look at North Carolina and we look at districts, now this might be horribly boring, but this is actually what most state senators do, is they try to rig the districts in order to make their party be more at an advantage. So this is the map of North Carolina with districts and counties. And these counties look pretty much okay, right? You have some weird shapes here-ish. You have some weird stuff here going on. And you have some weird stuff here. Now this might be based on geography, but if we look at Texas, for example, which is another specific case, Texas voting districts, and we start to look at something very, very, very interesting. It's, yeah. Screw you. I don't consent to services. There we go. Let's look at this. This map is in horrible resolution, but look at this shape. Oh yeah, it seems normal, like a square. Then it kind of goes here, and then goes kind of over there, and then comes back, and there. This is another district. This is a major district, goes down here, comes back around, comes back here, comes all around, comes back here, and then goes to the state border. This, oh yeah, let me have a big county and like eat a piece of your county here. This as well, where you have these kind of islands of stuff. This, which is like honestly, it has to be a joke, right? This up to this is the same voting district. Yeah. It's honestly pretty fun to look at, and if you look at, for example, let's name their, what is Texas even doing? They're existing. I think it was Texas 03 district, which was the which was weird. I don't know. There was something like about Texas gerrymandering. There we go. Me thinking that Jerry would be written normal. Right. So, turn back time, Texas. Right. This here is a district. The 90th House District. This is a district. This is another, well, it's the same district as earlier. All of this, right, has one effect. It basically cuts into areas of inhabited by people of color, or in other states, voters that are a part of Indian reservations or Indian habitats, and basically divides their votes so that later on, when the votes are tallied per district, the votes go to the advantage of, let's say, majority groups. Another way these are used are very specifically for what's the name of it? Operations aimed to make people not go voting by telling them, hey, are you going to vote, or whatever. And let's be honest, that's a bad thing. But let's look at some counties. Let's take a county. Let's say Dare County. I think I heard that at some point during the problems. Let's see voter registration in Dare County. This is a zip. This is a text file. Let's open the text file. This is a tab separated file. Okay, let's open this, move this to downloads. Hopefully I don't have anything too compromising in downloads. I do not. TSV, let's do that. And let's open this with spreadsheet. Let's see if I can't just, nope, can't do that. File, open, no, import. There we go. Upload, and just dump this. So TSV is tab separated values. Means that instead of a comma, they'll use a tab. And this is, however, 15 megabytes, so my poor connection is going to take a second. But in the meantime, let's not upload it to Google. Let's just use Excel at this point. Right, let's do this. Let's sign out of that. Right, there we go. And let's open this. There we go. Things. This is all of the voters for the Dare County in North Carolina. Now, what we're going to try to do is, if we're going to see if among the active voters we can't find some statistics and work on some stuff. I know I'm being very, unclear, but let's see what we can do. Well, first of all, we have in Dare County, we have a voter registration number. We have some form of status. I don't know what this means yet. We have voter status here. We have reason, but in simpler. So active would be AV, inactive would be IN, removed would be RM. So this is for indexing. You have some other variations, RD, IU, etc. So reasons. You have voter status. So you have various elements. So you get unenrolled after 2 federal general elections as a inactive participant, or you forgot to send something, or etc. So you have a few things. And then you get into the interesting stuff. You get into, hello, my last name is Aaron. And weirdly enough, I don't know if this is a joke, but probably not. His first name is also Aaron. Someone goes by the name Aaron, and probably hates their parents at this point. Aaron James Aaron. These are real people, by the way. So this isn't technically doxing them. No one supports doxing. This is just looking at public data. So if we're moving also to OSINT, so open source intelligence, voting records are actually a very nice thing to have. So you'll mostly find this for U.S. People. So you have the residence city and where they live, exact address, the state descriptor, so that's North Carolina, zip code, so you have their zip code, of course. You have their mail address, because they don't necessarily have the same mail address as their residential street address. Their mailing city, so that's where this mail address would be. State, zip code, full phone number in the international, missing the international prefix. So this would be 1252, etc. And here you start to get into interesting stuff. Can anyone tell me what the interesting stuff is?
I immediately noticed the race code and ethnic code,
Yep.
and I'm like, seems to be a little weird.
Well, it's the U.S., but let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a bit weird. But let's go over all of these because these are the most important ones. Phone number, first of all, having a nice phone number is always nice. You know, you can call people. If you call this number is probably still in service, and you'd probably join Aaron. Race code, white. W for white. You, honestly, let's go and check out what race codes. NC voter, and let's go with race code. Race codes. Voter registration with a blah. Race code, ethnic code. Haha, someone wrote the entire thing. Okay, race codes, race. A is Asian, B is Black or African American, I is American Indian or Alaska Native, M is mixed, or two or more races as they call it, other for O, P for Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, U for undesignated, W for white. Then you have ethnic codes, which may or may not be, missing. So you have HL for Hispanic or Latino, NL for not Hispanic or not Latino, and UN for undesignated. So if we go back to our thing here, okay, so we have people that are white, people that are undesignated, and you have people that are black here. You have people that are, yeah. I wanted to find at least someone of Indian descent, but oh, other. There we go. That does not mean that they're of Indian descent, but it's another race code. Then you land into the country of ethnic code. So undesignated, non-Latino, and Hispanic or Latino. There we go. And then element number 4. I don't know how to count. Party. Okay, I just jumped down. There we go. Party CG. Rep is for Republican. UNA would be for unaffiliated. Dem would be for Democratic. Is UN actually for, or UNA actually for unaffiliated? Let's see. UNA. Bollocks. There we go. Why is there something called a sewer district abbreviation? You're not helping me. Right, let's go with UNA. Choose your party affiliation. Okay, yeah, right. So it is unaffiliated. Moving on. So liberal. And that's pretty much all you'll get for most of this. Gender code. So male, female. I'm going to assume this is also undesignated. Which is probably everyone that is, well, doesn't identify as male or female. So people that would be non-binary, people that would be gender fluid, etc. So we have a few people like this. Not a lot, but it is the US. Birth age. Now, I don't know what age you were when you were born, but these people were apparently 51 and 30.
Poor Aaron, born at the old age of 51.
Yep, born in Arizona, of course. And yeah, so I'm assuming this isn't the year. This is their actual age when they registered, but it is stupid. Right. Do they have a driver's license? Okay. Do they have a... When did they register? What is their precinct abbreviation, etc., etc., etc. Now, if I were an evil person... Actually, let's do one piece of statistics first. Let's get rid of registration date to... Let's get rid of a few things. Let's get rid of precinct abbreviation. We don't need that. Municipal stuff. We don't need any of... Well, school district. Do we need school districts? Let's keep school districts. You'll understand why in a minute. And the confident... What is this? Confidential IND. I don't know what that is. It's written confidential. I don't want to know either. Birth year. We have a birth year. Haha. So yeah, it was their age. Let's keep their birth year as well, because why not? Okay. So we have this. We have a driver's license, birth state. We don't care about the birth state. Let's keep their age, though. We actually don't care about most of this. Okay, nor their other mail address. Let's take this up to mail zip code. Let's keep the phone numbers just as a... Yep. Last name, first name. We don't need the middle name. Voter status reason. Let's get rid of this. The reason why I'm getting rid of a lot of columns is because we want to be able to filter. Do we need, yeah, no, we don't need this. County, we don't care because it's all the same county. So I've just removed a shit ton of columns and we'll find out why. I'll just do the fun thing of transforming this into a table. Yep, where's the data for your table? Yep, no. What? No. My table has headers. Cancel. Let's go with from table range. Yeah, it goes to column N. My table has headers. Boop. Okay, we now have a table. The hell is this? I've never seen this before in my life. Is this JavaScript? Looks like JavaScript. No, it's VB. Discard. Good. I did not want to see this. Moving on. So, what do we have now? We have a shit ton of data. Let's first see interesting statistics. Let's just try to get a grasp on Dare County. Why? Because it's fun. First of all, let's count the number of people that are white versus the number of total people. We'll see if they are more than half. So, you know, we are in, yeah, we are here. Let's say count if, that is the thing. Range, we'll go with E1 to E36039. That's all this. And we'll say, bollocks. Criteria equal white. There we go. And now we'll just do the exact same thing, except instead of counting equal white, we'll just do count everything. Actually, it should be E2 because our table has headers. There we go. So this is the total, except we're not doing count if, we're just doing count. Count if, bollocks. Oh no, count if different to 0. Okay. What is the first statistics we can find? Anyone have a bit of commentary?
I mean, it's mostly white people.
Indeed-a-rooney. And I am never saying that word again. So it is this divided by this. 90%, or technically 90.6% white people. Now let's do...
That's statistics.
That is statistics. Now let's do the next thing. Let's see what party they are. That sounds like a little bit of a legitimate one. But let's say, count if, right? Number meet the condition. Okay, let's go with G2 to G36039. Okay, and we're going to say that, hey, they're equal to Republican. Okay, 12,000 Republicans out of 32,000. You'd assume that's actually good, right? Or good, or, I don't know. You'd assume that's not a lot. Okay, let's do more of this. We have count if. So this is people that are rep. Let's count to people that are white and rep, because we have the ability to do that. Okay, count ifs. I forgot the equal signs. Count ifs. Counts the number of cells specified by a given set of conditions or criteria. Criteria range 1, criteria 1. Okay, let's go with E2, E36039. Okay. Equals to white. G2, G36039 equals to rep. Okay, out of the 12,154 people that are registered Republicans, we have 11,000 that are, white and registered Republicans. This is this divided by this amount of percent. 93.6% of whites in in Dare County are Republican. Well, that's interesting. But this isn't actually the statistic that you'll want. It's the people that are undecided. So how many people are UNA? Or let's just do it for every single one of them. Let's go UNA and then DEM. Okay, let's do this. And instead of doing rep, we'll do lib. Okay, 257 people that identify as being liberal. And then we have UNA. That's UNA. Whoops. That's me typoing. UNA. There we go. And then DEM. Okay. So, what can we see here? Anyone have any idea?
Well, I mean, you can definitely see which parties are the majority and who actually is like most out of the population.
Okay, yep. Let's continue on that line of thought. Okay, so you have 215 out of the 257 liberals that are white. Okay, that's same thing as earlier. That is 83%. Okay, let's continue the grift. How many white people are UNA? Okay, that's a lot of percent too. That's 90%. And how many white people are Democrats? Dem. 8,362. So 88%. This might not be actually be the best. Actually, how does this work? Let me just check these statistics. Okay, out of the people that are okay, yeah. Out of the Republicans, 93% are white. Out of the Liberals, 3% are white. Out of the UNAs, 89% are white. Okay, which makes sense. You know, it corresponds more or less to our statistic of 90% of everyone is white. Let's see how those statistics work for people that are black. Okay, so let's go to this. And we'll just go with black. 1.7% of the population is black. This statistic holds because it is the global statistic. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yep. And let's continue grifting. Black. Oof. Okay. Yep. So what can we see here? Anyone got an idea? Blue? Got an idea? What am I seeing here? No? Okay. Well, what I can see here is proportionally out of the 1.7% of people that are black in North Carolina's Dare County, 19 of them are black and Republican, 3 of them are black and liberal, 141 of them are black and unaffiliated, and 467 of them are black and Democrats, registered Democrats. Let's do this statistic again, except instead of doing white and rep, we will do based on the global amount of people. Let's just go here, and instead of being this, we'll just go here, and instead of G, we'll take the amount of people total. Okay. And this is going to fail because I'm an idiot. This should be I342. Again, okay, and move this down. I342. How? Again? Oh no, it's 2 here and 4. I don't know how to math. 4, 2, 4, 3. Okay, and this is 4, 2, 4, 2, and moving this down to here. Nope. Okay, so let's get this up to 2, and there we go. So this is some statistic. Let's take the exact same statistic, move it down to here. Instead of 42, we'll do 47 and 47. Drag all of this down. 7, 7. Box. There we go. Well, that happened. Like, what, did it just go into regex mode or what? There we go. And 7. 47. 47. Now, what did I do here? Does anyone have any idea of what I currently did? Yes, no, perhaps? I'll take that as a no. Okay, well, what I've done right now, this very instant, is show two things. Okay? One of these things is that I need to convince the white user base that is unaffiliated to identify with a party. This represents 12,000 people to, show. Okay? I also can consider that I can't change the minds of 467 people, but I can maybe win 100 votes. Now, at the scale of a county, that's not a lot. Like I said, there's a total amount of 36,000 people. That's not a lot. But, it is enough to be worrisome. It's 0.1%. Actually, no, it's 1%. Right. So, moving on from this premise, what can I do? Well, let's see if I can't cheat the numbers a bit more. What happens if I ask for all the people that are white, unregistered, so let's delete this line, and whose phone number is not empty. Okay, and not equals to 0. Oh, well, interestingly enough, let's do this divided by this, by I. So let's see if this. Well, that's fun. Okay, let's do the same thing for these. Let's go with black identifies as UNA and different to 0. Did I? Oh yeah, I forgot to move this from UNA. There we go. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Does anyone want to know why this is interesting? Does anyone actually know? And I think we lost Big Krusty. Well, does anyone have an idea as to why this is important? What did I just show? Blue, got any idea? Kid? Yeah, I saw you unmute. Just got back here? Okay. Okay, right. Well, that's a shame. So what I've just shown in this entire expose, I guess, is that of all the people that are white, you have a number of them that are, you have a predominant number of them that are either Republican or unaffiliated. Okay? Of the people that are black, which is only 1.7% of the population, you have a majority of them that are Democratic and only some that are unaffiliated. If I were to work in some of my magic, I'm going to want to work on the people that are unaffiliated. Those people are the ones that are probably going to vote either way. You don't know. They're your big variable. And this column here, I checked who is white, who is unaffiliated, okay? Who has a phone number that is exposed? I did the same thing for the people that are black and unaffiliated. What can I do with this? Why is this very important? And what does this show us?
Well, I mean, you could try and like call the people who have an exposed phone number, be like, "Hey, have I got a deal for you?"
Exactly. That is exactly it. You can robocall them. You can do a lot of things. Yeah, you can call people to vote for you. Actually, you actually have their addresses. So if you group them up by postal code, and now I'm stupid because I forgot and I deleted their postal code, you can go and say, hey, all of these people, uh, just send people to the areas with a similar postal code that has a lot of people that are unaffiliated. And this is a process that's actually known and it showed up in a in I think it was a John Oliver episode and also one episode by Trevor Noah, where what was it? It has a name. Uh, I think there's yeah, it's voter suppression. Well, there we go. Um, one of these things was voter suppression, voter intimidation, also potentially voter information card, etc. Okay, but let's say I want to go a little bit further in my dynamic. Now you might remember I actually kept one of these things here, driver's license. I kept it. Does anyone want to know why I kept driver's license?
Ooh, that way you can know who can like drive places.
Correct, but incorrect. Driver's
Income
license. Nope.
related?
Nope. It's actually a form of identification by the state. If you don't have a license, you need to either have a passport or an ID card, but those don't really exist in the States. A driver's license is your basic form of, you know, identification. It's what you use at polling stations to show that you are who you are. Yep. No, your details are not on the sheet. It's the U.S. It's North Carolina. Come on. Unless you suddenly live in North Carolina, then yes. Are you Aaron James Aaron? Sorry. I shouldn't make fun of people's names. So let's go a little bit further with my dynamic. So here I did and UNA and phone, right? So I'll just extend that line for a bit. Okay. Let's go with this and this. This would be okay. Let's go with a little bit further. Let's go up and license. So same thing as before, except instead of this statistic, I'll just be copying this. And instead of UNA and column D, I am going to go with column J there, and I'm going to go with equals to yes or equals to no. Let's go with equals to no. Okay, let's do this, that, and this. So that would be black, UNA, and license equals to no. Why is this interesting? Does anyone want to know? Whoops. That is not what I was trying to do. Out of this statistic. 50% and equals this divided by this. Well, yep, that is correct. Why is this interesting? How many votes can you lose? Yes and no. So in this state, it actually quite it looks a little bit interesting because you have a lot of people that are black, and you have more people that are black and unaffiliated, and that have and no license. Right, so black, unaffiliated, no license, and no license. There we go. So you have a greater percentage. Let's just go and say, hey, anything that is not white, anyone who is not white, right, is unaffiliated and has no license. Let's go with that. Okay, and we'll shove these statistics again. But okay, let's go here. More statistics. No license. We'll go with not equal B. UNA equals no. 1,426 people. Was all a blur. Is my screen coming through blurry? Is that what you're saying? I hope not. Worst case, I have a...
I mean, I'm seeing it just fine. I just think he's saying, like, you're just doing it all so fast.
In that sense, yes.
Because you're doing all the shortcuts and stuff.
I mean, I'm copy-pasting stuff.
Yeah.
So let's continue with our rhetoric that there are people... I just went with people that are black. Let's say that not white. Let's just go and rebuild our statistics from here on out. Okay. Not equal to white, sorry. Why is this going to this? It should be going up to 39. Okay, this should be going to 44. Why is this going to 44? 39. There we go. So people that are not white, out of a total of 36039, this does E3. Oh, yep, there we go. This is 9.3% of the population who is not white. Let's do the exact same thing as this. And let's build up this. What? Why? Oh, fuck. G7. This should be G2 and this should be G37. So yeah, I'm just going to be taking these and yep, there we go. It's it might change a few of the statistics, but not that much. It just offset itself by a certain number. It's probably going to get worse, but who am I to judge? There we go. Yep, gonna get worse, certainly. Or better, I don't know. Okay, this should be 2 and 39 as well. Sorry. Oof. Nope. Not. No. E2E. Right. Okay, that's 19. That should be 39. So, apologies, we have some data mishaps. It happens. E2. Okay. I think we gained a liberal. Okay. G2, 39, unaffiliated, and E2, 39, and G2, 39. These numbers aren't going to change by much, but they're going to change slightly. Okay, and we have this, and this would be E2 to 39, J2, J3. Okay, this is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. I just messed up on one thing. Yeah, there we go. Good. Apologies. I think we've lost Satan again. That's probably why it was blurry. His connection is shit. Or it isn't. I don't know. Right. I messed this up. This is E2 to E36039. Okay. This is E2 to E36039 as well. Is this divided by this? Okay, good. Moving on. Let's just take the formula, right, and just go with rep lib UNA dem. Okay, this is rep. Okay. So this is the same data as earlier. Huh? Yeah, there's nothing shady going on. It's just I like to have it on the same line. Bollocks. There we go. That's a lot of people. This is equal to lib. There we go. This rep on lib una dem. Okay, good. That's something. Okay. Let's go into the next statistic. And this is the one you'll love. It's the one where we go with not W, so not white and rep. So let's just replace this. And I'm an idiot. There we go. There we go. Can I just do this here? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. Let's change this from not equal to white. Okay. Not equal to white. Damn it. It did it again, didn't it? Yep, it did it again. I hate it. Excel spreadsheets. Even I can't get it to. Even I can get it to lie. Right. Okay. 2 to 39. 2 to 39. I hate it when Excel tries to do smart things. 39. 2 to 39. Moving on. Okay. Only a few more. Let's see if we can just do this for everyone. And at the end, I think my last element is just going to show you how close that election was versus statistics. Because who doesn't love a bit of statistics? So let's do this versus this. So as we can see, we have 11% that are not white and Democrat, 16% that are not white and liberal, 10% that are not white and unaffiliated, and 6% that are not white and Republican. So, yeah, that's the corpus of, actually, doing this correctly? No, 6% of Republicans are not white. There we go. I'm saying it upside down. And this is, yeah, of all the people. Okay, yeah. And so this would be this divided by all the people that are not white, which is 22% of the people that are not white are Republican. 1% of the people that are not white are liberal, and 43% of the people that are not white are unaffiliated. And let's go with our last blaster. Boop. 32.6% of the people that are Democratic are not white. No, 2% of the people that are not white are Democratic. Okay. Moving on. Let's continue with people that are not white, are unregistered, or are unaffiliated. My bad. Okay, and no phone, and no license actually. Okay, not white, UNA, no license. So this would be everyone who's not white, people that are unaffiliated, and that have no license. That's 210 people out of the. Never read this correctly. Equals B. Yeah. Okay. Not white. Okay. Out of the 300. 3,000 people that are not white in the state. 6% don't have a license. Okay. How many of them have a phone number? Do you want to guess? Does anyone want a guess? No one wants a guess? Blue has left the building again. That's a shame. But moving on. Next, where we go. And the 239. Everyone has a phone number. So, in this case, I've identified three things. Three major things. A lot of my electorate, potential electorate, 6% of my of the undecided electorate that I might want to convince is so 6% of the people that are non-white that are unaffiliated that may be a part of my electorate don't have a license. So if they don't have a license, it's going to be harder to get them to vote. Okay, all of them have a phone number. If I filter both, I can get people that, have a phone number, have no license, or have a phone number and a license, there we go, and decide to say, hey, I'm just going to call you and convince you to vote for, I don't know, things relative to my school district, things relative to my birth year. Maybe I'll only try to influence the people who are born after 1995, or they're under 30 years old, because they may be the electorate that is in need of deciding. Now, with all this data, I am now going to go to the Hunt County? I don't remember. Which county did I take? NC voter 28. Okay, so district 28. Actually, can I just... Okay, right. NC voter district 28. There we go. So this is going to be the crowning achievement, I guess. Was it District 28? That's Guilford County. I don't want Guilford. I think I wanted Hunt. NC voter district. I'll just open this here. County ID, Dare County. There we go. NC. So Dare County, NC. House of Representatives. Vote 2020. North Carolina General Assembly elections in election results for Dare County. I actually don't know if this is a good Yep. Okay, so for Dare County Board of Commissioners, current chairman board Robert L. Woodard, Republican, handily defeated Amanda Hooper Walters, a Democrat, 13,000 votes, or 60.29%. Out of the 21% of people that voted, okay, the 22,000 people that voted, almost 23, which is, let's say, it's 2/3 of the entire population, which is good. 60% of them voted for the Republican. So you have 9,000 votes that were cast in favor of the Democrats, which you can find here, and here, and here, and here. What does this mean, actually? Does anyone know what this means? Because if you take 66% of this and 66% of this, just saying that everything is average, which it never is, but let's just say that you have averages. A few people from these two categories had to pitch in, which means that at least not everyone voted for one party. It was a split. Okay? If we try to get commissioners, uncontested races, 15,000 votes, okay. 12,000 votes. A lot of Republicans got elected. Okay, that's interesting. And this is where it gets also interesting. Federal and state contest results. 13,000 votes for Donald Trump. 9,000 votes for Biden. We can see this in the statistics. U.S. Senate. Tom Phillis hauled in 13,000, or 57%. Democrat, 92,000. Yeah. And Lib, 700. So we have actually a lot of people that voted liberal, or libertarian. Yeah, libertarian. Okay. More people than statistically usual. So unregistered libertarians. Okay. NC District 3, Republicans. Governor, current governor, probably Republican. So yeah, it kind of went very Republican. Was this possible to identify in the statistics? Yes, no. Anyone have an idea? Or just type yes or no. Not visible in the statistics. You couldn't have predicted a Republican win for most positions with these statistics. Still seeing people typing. Yes. Okay. Blue, do you want to think over your answer, or are you going with no? Maybe. Maybe. Stacy, do you have an opinion? Let's see. Does the answer change, or does it stay the same? You're going to say yes. Don't feel forced to say yes. I'm going to tell you now why it was visible. I think I've kind of done it over time. But first of all, you already have 34% of your electorate, which is undoubtedly Republican. If you map those 34% out of the chunk of the 1,200, just assuming that proportions stick, you get 34% times this number, 4,400 additional Republicans, let's say. If you sum this up, you get to 15,000 Republican votes, almost 16,000. And this is representing 90% of the population. So you do this times 1 divided by 0.90. So you're just trying to flip the number. 17,566. So this would be if every number managed to scale across any ethnicity or race. If all the numbers were equivalent, you would get 17.5 thousand votes in favor of. Now, what we did is we didn't check the people that were active voters. But this number, 17,500, is greater than most of the numbers here. 14,000, 11,000, 13,800, 13,060, 13,000, 13,000, 13,367. If I remove this number from this, let's just say that I just keep white and Republican and what's this number again? A percentage of the electorate that is undecided, unaffiliated. 15,000 people. Okay. that's what I'm going at right now. I'm going to go and build this category slightly higher, and this is going to be and active. Right, let's go with and I don't, there we go, and active voters. Okay, we're just going to divide. This is count if boof, and we'll just count the people that are active. So people that have active in column A. A1, A2, A36039 equals to active. Now let's correct all of this as well. E2, E39, G2, G39. Now if instead of taking this number, we then took this number divided by this number, so you have only 70% of the entire electorate which is active. And then you multiply, instead of using this number, you use the one above. And then you multiply by 1 divided by 09, which is then removing the 90%. You get to 14,362, which is more than every single vote, including 14,070 here, except the 15,800 that we see here, which can be explained by it being a board election versus another election. 12,000, 13,000, and here for district court judges we have 15,000. So these numbers don't exactly hold entirely, because it might be that certain judges were considered more on their character instead of just political affiliation. That happens sometimes with judges. But this number is predictable. So yes, this is entirely something that you can weaponize the entirety of these statistics in order to influence elections. And you can do this at a county level, you can do this at a state level, you can do this at a country level with sufficient organization. Don't go influencing statistics. This is purely for educational purposes, of course. I should have put that disclaimer at the beginning. But yes. Welcome to Weaponizing Statistics. This was me, Nikos, and I hope you had an interesting time. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in Tutoring No Mic right now, or soon. The time that you need to type a question, actually. Anyone have any questions? Any parting words? Any plans to overthrow governments? Actually, don't say them here. Ooh, everyone's typing. Interesting. I'm just going to take a sip of 3-day-old coffee. Blech. Do any other countries have such data in public? Not a lot. At least not to this granularity of data. This data is extremely granular. You have everyone. Not even all states in the US have this type of data. But North Carolina was considered at the beginning to be a potential swing state. Swing states are states that were a certain party and could have been another party. Now, statistically, I can tell you that, no, it could not have been another party. Unless a majority of the unaffiliated group just swung over, it could not have changed. So, I don't know how they did their statistics, but their statistics were wrong. With sufficient... how could any of this be useful in mostly everyday life? Well, you can do the exact same thing with accounting data, Um, Accounting data can be manipulated to lie the same way. Want to say that a department spends more? Lump in some additional costs that you wouldn't lump in somewhere else. You want to say that the salary range in, I don't know, that there isn't a gender pay inequality? Sure, just don't consider every person voting. Um, you want to, I don't know, promote someone to higher position based on KPIs? Use statistics. Um, and you can also then tweak the statistics. Statistics are extremely complicated when done correctly, when weaponized correctly, to unweaponize. When you're using it at this granularity to target a population, either by then getting them to not register or to not vote by identifying those that don't have a license and going and telling them not to register, or telling them data that, oh yeah, the registration deadline is then, except that it wouldn't have been then if they had a form of valid identification. You can play a lot with this type of data. It's not only constrained to elections; it's constrained to everything where statistics exist, which is, to be fair, everything. The weather is statistics to some level of granularity. Now, we don't trust the weathermen now, but like, or I don't at least. But if you realize that statistics can be manipulated in 50 different ways to say 50 different things, how could one try to avoid being fooled by such statistics? Good question. Um, well, there's two ways of being fooled by statistics. One is trusting graphs. Graphs are shit. Most people that show you a graph are lying to you. A graph is an unequal representation of any form of data. You can be tweaking the axes, the axes like we saw earlier. You can be not representing a column, a very specific column. You can be doing any number of things just to show something that is false. And then there's a second level of statistics. The thing is, these statistics right here, as they're posted, are not meant to fool you. These, these statistics are meant to be hidden. These statistics are you if you have a secret weapon, you're not going to show everyone you have a secret weapon. You're going to keep it in your back pocket. That's what these weaponized statistics are. They're a secret weapon, more or less. So this isn't so much as getting fooled as just getting, as getting, I don't know, overtrodden. Let's put it that way. Uh, if it's in a company, if they have a number source, you could always ask someone else to redo the same graphs or redo the same math, or you could do it yourself. Um, you could do random sampling to then be able to identify whether or not um, you're able to find stuff. Yeah, you can do a lot of things. You can do random sampling to determine whether or not a graph is biased. It won't work all the time. Um, but yeah, you have a few things you can do to avoid being fooled. But yeah, a well weaponized statistic is a statistic you will never either see or understand whether or not you were fooled by it. And yeah, you could send me all the data, but honestly, it already took me, what was it, an hour to get through all of this. Um, it's interesting, but I'm not a data analyst. I'm just someone with an Excel spreadsheet. Uh, Someone else that was doing things with Excel spreadsheets in Florida this time was someone who was reevaluating the county COVID case declarations, and that actually got the governor of the state to come after her personally for the data she was exposing. of the situation being much worse than it actually was. I don't remember the entire story, but I'll find it and I'll post it. Um, is intimidation? Yeah, let's go with intimidation then. Ensuring parents? Nope. Study, analyze, COVID. Nah. Special session. Fired Florida statistician says. There we go. Police raid aim to blah. And once this loads, because right, there we go. Former COVID-19 data analyst from the state of Florida, who was fired after claiming that her superiors were hiding cases and deaths, went on to create her own acclaimed national COVID dashboard, said that a raid by armed police on her home was an effort by the governor's office to find the names of her government's contacts in an ongoing purge of the health department. Rebecca Jones in Florida. This happened last December. What do you mean? Wait. So yeah, statistics have ramifications, and this person was reevaluating the statistics and was showing that statistics were falsified, and that her analysis went to show that those that the results were falsified, and her home got raided to see if any confidential documents were there, etc., etc. So yeah, statistics do have their influence on everyday life, especially if you're someone working with statistics. So here's the article if you want it. But yeah. All in a day's work. So, any final remarks or questions before I jump off and wait until tomorrow to upload this to YouTube?
Well, I mean, I just want to say, like, this has been pretty interesting.
I try. I definitely tried. Yeah.
Like, I'm just impressed that you were like, your day was so chaotic and you still somehow managed to pull off something like this.
What do you mean?
I mean, just not like
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty interesting.
Yep.
It's like a part two of that last talk you did with
Yeah, with you.
politics.
Yeah. It's more or less the same data, except it's actually taken for a longer conclusion. It's I took more time to show how the data works basically. So yeah, definitely don't go to work in politics, or if you do, become good at manipulating data. So yeah,
So hey, thanks.
you're very welcome. If you want some nice examples of statistics, do go onto Reddit. r/data is beautiful. It is a brilliant subreddit of statistics that are beautiful. So definitely enjoy.
Hey.
So yeah, good stuff. Right. Well, I hope you had fun, or at least learned something. And yeah, see you all next week with James Bohr on Saturday. Oh, there we go.